All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Saiki K, Season 2, Episode 23. Are we actually getting into serious stuff this episode?
Main plot, yeah.
Main plot
so.
after 2 full seasons. We're finally here.
I mean, we had some kind of pseudo-main plot things throughout the show thus far, but this
Volcano,
feels like
brother.
we're having a Mom Psycho episode where we go back to what was your get a grip moment, Saiki?
Right.
What was it?
Yeah.
What was it?
And what kind of an impact did that leave on you? Is that maybe why you don't like to hang around people? Is that why you try to keep your powers a secret?
We shall see. And he surrounds himself with, like, kooky, people to, like, give color to his life.
That's why Nendo is the perfect companion, because, Nendo will be fine. No matter what happens. Any kind of psychic disturbance, no.
Nendo keeps
survive.
things surprising. Keeps things interesting.
Yep.
But good luck in this little bit of self-exploration, Saiki. You don't usually do this, at least to this extent.
Nope.
So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Judgment lights up.
Got a serious episode all the way through.
A really serious episode. A really sweet episode. It was goofy. It was funny in that we had Saiki having to avoid his past self, who was stronger than him, because he didn't have the limiters made at that point. So it's the, oh no,
what do
myself
I do?
is good at finding myself.
Yep.
Oh no, well, okay. I'll keep trying to do this to where Touma doesn't end up finding out I have psychic powers, and in the end, he gives up and he just tells him, which is cool, that Saiki's willing to open himself up to another friend.
Exactly.
Even though this was kind of he was pressured into this situation by his own actions and by Akachi Toma's actions.
Right.
But
that's kind of standard fare for the show, too.
that is standard fare for the show. And that's something that, it's kind of rough for Saiki that he has to deal with this, but, he still keeps all those friends around. Like, he hasn't tried to run away from them yet.
Exactly.
Even though a lot of them actually do know about his psychic powers. Like
right.
Like not a lot of them.
He hasn't tried to run away from them yet, asterisk, in the way that he ran away from Touma.
Right. Exactly.
So, and now we've got another friend to add to the group. Cool.
One who will join the psychic trio, who knows actually about his abilities, but is also, in this case, not a psychic. So.
Right. First one that is not a psychic. Not counting family, of
course. Well, I mean, not counting family. Yeah.
But, okay.
All right. This is a really, really just sweet, tender episode to also make us like Touma a lot more, because now it's shit. Yeah, he was bullied, but not just that. He was someone who really, really just wanted to thank this kid who saved him. And it's not because he, needs to know about the psychic powers only. It's that's part of it, but I just really wanted to thank you for saving me from being bullied, because you did. You did that right. So.
And also his, his quirky personality, shall we say, also makes a bit more sense, where if it's this thing where he's had this suspicion, and we might have talked about this in a previous episode, but he's had this suspicion this entire time that Saiki is a psychic, right? And yet there have been all these things that sort of, keep him from being sure, right? That would be a lot of questioning reality and, oh, God, can I trust myself and what I think and everything? So naturally he would be very frenetic in the way that he is now. But,
I want to see how they follow this up, because one of the things that I'm kind of curious about is I didn't really fully understand but it's like that never happened now, because he said that, I kind of got something that I wanted out of this, which is basically he got to experience a little bit of that friendship with Akachi.
Right.
But then he was saying, but it's like that never happened now. So is he saying that the incident that he did was where he kind of let Akachi recognize that he did save him from all the bullying stuff, but he also kind of undid that because of going back to the way things were originally?
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's what it is. Yeah, is that he ended up telling Akachi back then as a way of being like, hey, maybe this will help fix things. But then, of course, Akachi, and also because he's a kid, tells a bunch of other people right?
Right.
Because he ends up being in those situations where he's getting bullied, and he's like, hey, Saiki, you can save me. So then maybe he undid that too to go back to the world line that he's in now, where it's just like, okay, I'll just tell you. And I'll tell you now when you'll be able to actually be responsible with that information. Even though he proceeds to freak out at every little thing that Saiki does. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious if this show ends with Saiki kind of having that moment of where he's like, I feel like I need to run. I feel like I need to get away. I feel like I need to reset everything. The scary thing is that he has the powers of a god, so he kind of can do stuff on that line. But he's also kind of, keeping the world from exploding,
Right.
He's changed so many things about the world as well. He can't just undo all that. Mm-hmm. So in some ways, this world that you're creating, Saiki, will continually evolve in this way. So if you're just willing to adapt with it and, connect with these people, I don't think you need to run away anymore.
Right. Well,
you should be fine.
And given how late in the show this is, granted, this episode was not as serious as I expected it to be in a lot of ways, right? There was a lot of comedy thrown in there that I like. It makes sense for a Saiki K episode. I did not expect it from this episode for some reason.
Sure. Yeah.
But this might be a definitive turning point in Saiki as a character and potentially the show, given that, like, before the other times where he's sort of, like, put up with the people around him, it's been something where he'll be like, okay, I appreciate them. Yeah, they're not so bad. They can kind of take care of me. They can share their coffee jelly with me and stuff like that.
Right.
But he's never gone so far as to actually tell someone about his psychic powers when they weren't a psychic.
Right.
And that, I think, could mean a lot. It could also mean nothing. That could just be the shtick that Touma now has moving forward, and that he's the normie who knows about his psychic powers.
Sure.
Or it could be something where then, we end up seeing Saiki also tell other people in the future,
Yeah, I think telling other people makes a lot of sense. I think also potentially this being a thing where it's he might end up wiping some memories, not doing some time shenanigans. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Next episode is the finale of season 2, so they could drop some big bombshells if they wanted to.
But there is a season 3, even though it's a shorter one.
Yes, there is a season 3. There's also some specials in between season 2 and 3 as well. So there's more story, but they could shake up the dynamic quite a lot with this as the instigating factor here, because there's an emotional core to it for both Akachi and Saiki. So all right, the
different futures were fun.
The little costumes, the ways in which he kind of needed to kind of fear his younger self. I really loved the idea of he's staring directly at me. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But also we never went into the classic jumping into the past many, many times kind of thing of there's the other me. There's the other me. There's the other me. There's the other me. But they went for the no. Once he went back again, he went back like 2 seconds before. It destroyed that timeline's version of him.
Yep.
He's going through world lines. He's not ever going to interact with himself.
Right, because he's constantly changing the future so that, the him that's there will go into the future in a different way or go into the past in a different way than he did originally.
But meaning that the second a choice is made, it's a world line shift kind of Steins Gate style. Yeah. So, all right. I do miss having the cast in episodes like this. So it's the kind of thing of where I understand why this episode needed to be this way. Mm-hmm. It did kind of keep it all within the same episode, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so, probably a good idea.
So, for expediency's sake, that's pretty good. But it also feels like, this episode was kind of quiet in that regard, because not a lot of the other characters were there. But they were shown at that one scene at the end.
They were, yes. Yeah. That was nice to see. But
but what do you think about that? Because that's a thing of where it's not. But it's like that never happened now. And then it's him thinking about the friends and stuff. Now, that might have been him thinking about the world line where he was social and he had really good friendships with all of them.
Maybe, but I could also see it being... I think he's more thinking...
The same thing might happen again, yeah.
Right, and him being okay with that, I would say, is the big growth on Saiki's part.
Sure.
Because if if this whole approach that he's taken to people finding out about his powers is because he was terrified of what happened back then, then now that he's addressed it, I feel like that could change things. But at the same time, you know, in this show, there hasn't been a lot of like carryover from episode to episode.
Not really.
So
maybe little things here and there.
Yeah, little things here and there, but not too much. So
not too much.
Yeah.
But okay. Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.